for 14 years, but most importantly, I know I have a gift to inspire and motivate. God has blessed me with the ability to touch people's lives through my words and inspiration. And so I decided to use this platform to be a blessing to so many if I could reach you. My I Choose Me, No More Excuses. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in.
All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
Okay, now we're back. I'm sorry. Like I said, this is going to be every Tuesday night. This will be an inspirational call. What I want this movement to be about is you getting to love yourself again, learning to reach yourself again. If there's anybody who's listening and would like to see me live, I am on Facebook Live as well at this time, trying to make sure I get all avenues of this out there. So before we move any further, I want to tell you what No More Excuses, I Choose Me is all about. Now I'm going to read my mission statement before I go deep on what each thing means. So the No More Excuses, I Choose Me. This is a movement of selflessness, not selfishness. The movement teaches women to love themselves first before they choose to love anyone else. In order to love, you have to know what it feels like to be loved. Who better to show yourself what you want and deserve than you? This movement is to heal wounds that have never been closed and to turn those scars in individuals' lives into bruises. After reopening stitches so they can heal from the inside out instead of the outside in. There are too many individuals who appear to be okay but are bleeding on the inside because while no one chose to put them first, neither did they. I Choose Me and the No More Excuses is because women always want to nurture everyone else with no hesitation but continue to neglect themselves. And so what I mean by that is, in life, we all go through things. In life, life has a way of breaking us down. And in return, we give so much of ourselves. We give more of ourselves than we have to give because that's how we were built. That's what we were born to do. And what I want this movement to do is to bring us back to ourselves, is to teach us to fall back in love with ourselves so that we can walk in our rights, walk in our purpose, and walk in our gifts. We are forgetting about who we are in hopes to, we inspire everybody else more than we inspire ourselves. So that is what I want this movement to change. I want it to change the trajectory of how you see yourself and how much you pour into yourself. Now, before I go any further, I want to give a definition for each word because I love to start with the definitions. So, of course, I said the movement is I choose me. So, the definition for I is the subject or object of self-consciousness, the ego. That's the I. The choose is to pick out or select someone or something as being the best or most appropriate of two or more or alternatives. So you're choosing something. You're picking something that's the best. When you go out and you look at something and you say, oh, I want that, you picking something that catches your eye. So that's what choosing is all about. And me, which we all know is used by a speaker to refer to himself or herself as the object or of a verb of preposition. So I choose me. So I am picking myself because I deserve it. What you deserve, you have to give yourself. It starts with you. It starts with the way you see yourself. You teach people how to treat you. And if you forget to spend time with yourself and get to know yourself, then other people don't know how to treat you. Other people don't know how to deal with you. Other people don't know how to love you on the level on which you desire to be loved because you haven't found out what level that is. And so what this movement is about you figuring out what level is that. What does it mean to love me? Who am I? What are the parts of myself that I hide from? What are the parts of myself that I try to forget? What are all these things in my life that I allow to kind of cover and hide everything who I am? So, the no more excuses, that's a mission statement of I choose me. What I want you to understand that you are growing apart from yourself because you are forgetting to spend time with yourself. When I mean time, I'm not talking about, any kind of time. I'm talking about quality time. I'm talking about the time where you actually get quiet with yourself. I'm talking about the time you ever in a car and you don't turn on the music and you don't pick up the phone, but you actually take time to just talk to yourself, console yourself, remember yourself, breathe, just being overwhelmed by life, just being able to say, listen, I had a full day, but I'm gonna spend some time with me right now. How can you not find time for the person that you're always with? I was talking to somebody not too long ago who was saying that, I just don't have the time, I got to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And I say, how can you not have time for the person that you spend every moment with? How can you not have time for the person who dwells inside of you? You are always with you. And I give the idea of, you ever be in a relationship with somebody and let's say you in the house with your husband, mate, whomever, and they're in one part of the house, you're in the other part of the house. And in the man's eyes, he's like, listen, I'm about to run out. I got something to do. And you're saying, oh, well, we didn't spend time today. He's thinking, well, we've been together all day long. What do you mean we didn't spend time today? And what's your response? Well, it wasn't quality time. That's the time that I'm talking about. I want you to want for yourself what you want for others. The same way that you wanted that quality time with your mate, the same way that you wanted that quality time with your friend, the same way that you want to etch out specific time for such events is the same way I want you to love on yourself. It's the same way I want you to console yourself. It's the same way I want you to spend that time with yourself. Now, how can you make time for everyone and everything else, like I said, and forget about the most important person in your life, which is you? Now, you know how you are in a relationship and you know what you want. So you need to start giving yourself the same thing that you expect from other people. You need to start pouring back into yourself. I want you to hold yourself as accountable to yourself. And what that means is I want you to start to think daily of things that you can do to inspire you. I want you to think daily of things that you can do that sets time aside for your life and where you're going or what you're trying to do. I want you to fall in love with yourself. And I was telling my cousin today, I want this movie to be about you falling in love with yourself all over again. And she said, well, what about the people who never fell in love with themselves in the first place? This is for you. I want you to understand that you are enough. Where you are in your life, the mistakes you have made, the journey that you've been on, that is what makes you who you are. That is what builds your character. Those are the best parts of yourself. But in life, we tend to kind of hide from everything that makes us and creates us. And we force ourselves into believing that we are not enough. We force ourselves into believing that this ain't the life for me. We force ourselves into not understanding that we deserve every and anything that life has to offer us, as long as we have a love and a respect and an honor for who we are and where we're going. I want you to know that the soul of yourself is waiting to be loved, nurtured, supported, understood, chastised, hugged, honored, admired, and embraced. Your life is in limbo because the soul of you is waiting for you to choose you and understand that every part of you is enough. I have this motto that I created for the movement, and it says, I pledge to embrace who I am today, love who I was yesterday, and inspire who I will become tomorrow. And what that means is that in order for us to be who we were called to be, in order for us to stand in this realm, in order for us to build in our lives and in our relationships, we have to first be able to accept who we are and whose we are. We have to be able to honor our existence by just understanding that we are special, that we are who we say we are. The problem is, too often, we don't know who we are. We haven't, like I said, spent time with ourselves. We give to everything and everybody, but not ourselves. We have been more concerned with pleasing others than we have been with honoring ourselves. And why is that? When did we stop being the most important person to us? What I want this movement to do is to put in perspective the place you are for yourself. What I want this movement to be about is loving and honoring you first. How can you expect other people to choose you when you haven't even chosen yourself? I love that concept of, being on the plane, on the airplane, and, they teach you, well, when you bring down the oxygen mask, make sure you take your breath first before you give it to anybody else. Make sure that you have what it takes before you pass it on. This is how you are supposed to be moving in your life. This is how you're going to get the results that you want in your life. In order for you to do that, you have to first choose you. You have to first say, listen, I am wonderfully made. My mistakes do not make me who I am. What they do is they actually create a fire inside of me. They actually teach me that I have something to give. But if you don't know that, who's going to tell you? Who's gonna reach out for you? Who's going to be that person that speaks for you in your life? It has to be you. We speak for everyone else but ourselves. We love everyone else but ourselves. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying to be selfish. I'm not saying to forget about what everybody else needs. What I'm saying is that how can you give to someone else and you don't even have it to give to yourself? How are you putting other people's lives in front of yours? How are you teaching? Okay, we all have children. I want my children to understand that you are somebody special. You have something special. What you have to give, in order for you to find that out, you got to get to know yourself. And if you don't take the time with yourself to find out who you are, then how can you grow? How can you build? How can you actually love somebody else if you haven't first began to love yourself on a level in which you deserve? So I really want us to get in touch with ourselves. I really want us to get in touch with just every part of ourselves. I said, every part of you is worthy. Every part of you is special. Every part of you is important. Every part of you has something to give. The most important thing is that once you get to know yourself, you get to begin to live in your personal legend, because your heart speaks to your mind, your soul. I'll tell you the story of me. Being young, growing up, I learned young that I had the ability to write poetry. But what was so unique about me, and I think my situation, was that from me being very young, there was something that was inside of me. I felt this yearning for something. This movement right here, this I choose me, no more excuses, I'm enough. This has been in the making for years. Like, the vision has been here. Shout out to Kevin who created my logo. Love it. I mean, when I live in this moment right now, being on Facebook Live, being on a conference call, this is a kickoff to where I want this movement and where I want us as a people to go. I want us to be so in love with ourselves that we're not offended by people's honesty. We're not offended by people's opinions. We're not offended by people's thoughts. We don't allow them to break us down, because you don't get to dictate to me who I am for me. See, we often allow others people's perception of us to dictate who we are, what makes us lose, what's the word I'm looking for? You lose, you know how you moving and you trying to get somewhere, you lose your momentum. That's the word. You lose your momentum because you are so busy stopping, concerned about what everybody else thinks, because you don't have a perspective of your own. So it's about you getting in touch with yourself, about you falling in love with yourself. I cannot stress enough how much that will change your life. Falling in love with yourself changes your life and everyone around you. It changes, it puts joy into my, it puts peace in your heart. It puts inspiration in your life. Just being able to say, I'm enough. Just being able to say, I may not be where I'm supposed to be, but I tell you, I ain't where I used to be. I am blessed. I am highly favored, and the world is not ready. The world is not ready for me right now. You know why? Because I have something so profound and so just invigorating that I just don't know what to do. I want to share it all the time. That's what falling in love with yourself looks like. It's about you just saying, woo. It's taking a breath. It's those aha moments. When you're in love with yourself, your aha moments come a dime a dozen because you are in touch with your soul. You're in touch with your true star player, which is you. You got to be the cheerleader for your life. You are the author of your story. You cannot allow any and everybody to change your story. But in order to have a story, my dear, you have to know your story. So that means you have to embrace your story. You have to pick up those broken pieces, which I love to say. I wrote a play called Picking Up the Broken Pieces. What that means that in life we get broken down. Because we go through things. These are all these things on our journey that hurts us and you think it's breaking us down. They're building you up. Because like they say, what don't kill you makes you stronger. And if you can embrace those hardships, if you can embrace those lessons, you get closer to you. Because the reason why you keep on being tested day after day after day is because you won't embrace the lesson. You won't get in contact with your soul. You won't nurture your soul. You won't love your soul. You have to be able to say, listen, I've been busy all day and I take time for everybody else. I'm going to take 20 minutes for myself. How can you not find time for the person that you never leave? How can you not make time for the person that you are supposed to be the best representative for? How can you not stand up for you at all given times? That's what I want this inspiration to be about. That's what I want the I Choose Me. And the No Excuses is definitely for us. Because we always give ourselves excuses why we can't do this for us. Oh, well, I got this to do. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, well, I can get it later. Why is it that your being is always waiting on later? Your soul is waiting on later. Your joy is waiting on later. Your answers are waiting on later. Your desires are waiting on later. Everything that you're going through is waiting on you to show up for yourself. When you begin to show up for yourself, life will show up for you. Are we ready to show up? I hope we are. That is what I want every Tuesday night to be about. It's going to be about you saying, listen, I love me. And I want to tell you what I've been through this week. I want to tell you what I got over this week. I want to tell you how I fell more in love with myself this week. And let me tell you something. Everybody else is falling all in love with me all over again. See, because you teach people how to treat you. And until you teach them that you are valuable, until you teach them that you are lovable, until you teach them that you are worthy, people are going to do to you what you let them. But I'm trying to change the way you see yourself so that others can change the way they see you. If you want to change in your life, it starts with you. If you want to change the direction of your life, it starts today. If you're already doing that, then I love and I empower you to keep on sharing the vision, keep on sharing the message, keep on sharing the love, and telling people to continue to tap into what they have, continue to tap into what they're doing, continue to live in a level of joy and peace at all times. What I wanted to put here, I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget. I said it starts by choosing you daily with no hesitation because your soul has a reservation for a one-on-one with you. Do you hear me? That the soul of you is waiting for you to show up. That little girl inside who has been through hell and back, she's waiting for you to show up. That person who has cried the last tear, she is waiting for you to show up. That mother who was young, who judged because they thought you did it wrong, she is waiting for you to show up. We have to start showing up in our lives to pick ourselves back up to the level of which we deserve, which is honor, respect, and admiration. You were born with a purpose. Although, like I said in the beginning, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, but I was born with a gift. I was born with a purpose. And it's time for everybody to start to get more in touch with who you are and get in touch with your purpose. Get in touch with that thing that lights a fire. Like we all have this candle, I love to say, that is waiting to be burned. But we have to spark it. The little things we do in life sparks that candle. And when you get more in touch with yourself, you begin to spark that candle that lies within. And when you spark that candle that lies within, it begins to burn. And from that burning, you'll see all your dreams and desires start to unfold right before you. You know why? Because you took the time for you to get to know you and love you. Are we ready to do that? Are y'all ready to join this movement, this mission of I choose me, no more excuses? I'm going to teach you how to treat me so that in return, I love you more for it. I will no longer blame everybody else for the way I'm being treated because I get to dictate who and what is in my life. I get to dictate the energy that comes in and the energy that goes out. You're in control of what you have going on. I need everybody to understand that. I need you to receive it. I need you to embrace it. I need you to love it because you are enough. Now, I want to share my poem with you that is titled Tears Are Answers, which is an original poem, and you will be getting a whole lot of these coming up soon, every Tuesday. But this one is titled Tears Are Answers. There's no doubt that I love you, but it's the fears that I see. Because when I look at your actions, your best interest is in me. And I've held on to the dream that you'll come around. But as I sit in my room, I hear a drip drop sound. The sound of my tears as they fall on the bed. And the reason I hear them is because it's so quiet in my head. For I stand still in a time to absorb what is true. And I find in my quiet moments, I'm crying over you. Crying over the past, the present, and the future still to come. Thinking about our ups and downs, and especially our little one. But as I laid on my pillow and I wiped away my tears, I found out my deepest secrets and my submissive fears. You see, I wasn't crying over you, so let's get this clear. But I was crying over me who I lost through the years. So I got out of my bed, went over to the mirror just to see who is the reflection that looks back at me. And I see that I found what I have longed to need. A new love for myself and a gift God placed in me. And so I figured out the battle and I found out just what to do. I have to first love myself so I can then teach you. And that, my people, is what this movement of I choose me, no more excuses is all about. It's about saying I'm enough. It's about saying that I'm going to love me until you can love me. I'm going to love me until the world can see that I am who I say I am. You deserve it. You deserve everything the world has to offer you. And it's up to you to stand in your truth, to embrace your moment, and to say, I choose me. I'm enough. Now, at this time, I'm going to open up the call. If anybody have any questions or comments, this is the perfect time to share. Okay, so now the call is open. Does anybody have a question or a comment or anything they want to share? Hello. So yes. So at oh, I might have to move them back out. So anyway, at this time, I just want to thank everybody who is tuning in. I want to thank everybody who participated tonight. I just want to thank you guys for just being a part of the movement, being a part of the vision. This is very emotional for me. I am very excited because to sit in this space and just think about how long ago I've seen this vision, how much this is a part of me, and to be here with you guys and to share in such a powerful and amazing gift. I say, as God uses me, I plan to share. As God touches me, I want to touch you. And I just hope that anybody, if you're around somebody or if there's anything that you can do, share love. Share a smile. Do a hug. It is so much easier to pour positive into people's lives than it is to pour negative. But like I say, it starts with loving yourself, embracing yourself, respecting yourself. When you do all of these things, then you will begin to live your best life. You will begin to choose you with no more excuses. And you will understand that you're enough. We are all enough. And so until next week, at 9 p.m. Tuesday nights. I'll be back. I love everybody. I'm glad you are a part. I want to give the motto one more time, and I hope everybody try to tune in and you learn it. It says, I pledge to embrace who I am today, love who I was yesterday, and inspire who I will become tomorrow. It's time to start inspiring your tomorrow. Love that person that was hurt. Love them out of their pain. Love yourself out of the pain. Move back into the present. Love yourself through the present and inspire your tomorrow, because you got so much work ahead of you. Love you guys, and I will speak to you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Please share the message. Same time, same place. Love you. Bye-bye.